Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? It feels a little bit weird, I know, to be having a tangle session on a Monday. But as you well know, going to Create and Craft is lovely, but sometimes that internet just liked. So I just thought, let's just preempt this and make sure that we get a good session going. So I thought I'd do it today. So lots of tiles coming in for the tile swap. Of course, we've been out on Wednesday. They won't be sorted now till Thursday. So if you haven't got it done yet, you've still got time to get it in. Oh, where are we going today? Then what we're going to be doing? Okay, I've got a light grey tile, one of the monochrome sets. I've just written all my name and things on there. This you might see. Oh, this is a little bit about what's coming on Wednesday. I've actually borrowed Leslie's board today because mine's in my car, but yes, she won't mind. It'd be fine. So what else do I have? I've got my regular pen, my pencil, my tortillon. I do have a white gel pen, and I've also got my white pastel-y white chalk pencil as well. So a few coloured pencils if you want to add a bit of colour in, but it's entirely up to you as well, you know. So okay, are we ready for this then? Let's make a start. Okay. Oh, hey, Karen. Oh, it's nice to sort of catch up with people, isn't it? It's lovely. So here we go. Starting with my pencil. Now you want to be doing this lightly because there's a few little bits and pieces I want to do before we come in with pen. So let's take a deep breath. Are we ready for this? This one's fine. There's little elements in here you've done before, so you're not gonna go crazy. So okay, let's see where we're going. I'm gonna start up this section here, and I'm gonna bring in a bit of a curve. You might want to just hang on a minute till I've done this. Oh, thank you, Leslie. And then I'm gonna do another one. See, I'm gonna go quite wide here, but it's gonna come in. Go a little bit narrower. All right. And then the reason I've sort of stopped there is because I want to do another one here. But what I want to do is, I'm going to make that a bit longer. I want to create a little bit of a shape here. There we go. Again, a bit wider there. Coming in, a bit narrower there. Sort of leading off a bit wider. And then here, look, I can just bring this one in. It goes underneath. Okay. All right, so that's where we're sort of starting from. Now, I'm going to just sort of turn it. Let's have a look. Turn it that way. Okay, let's have a look. Because I want to decide which one's sort of the right way. This one's going underneath, see? So what I'm going to do is put a little line there. A little line there. Yeah. And I'm also going to put a little line there. You see, I'm still working in pencil here. Oh, Maureen, thank you. Well, I'm not going to take credit for the board because it's Leslie's. And it is giving you a little hint of what's coming on Wednesday. I'm the same there, see? Oh, sorry. There you go. Okay, so I can actually come in now with my pen, and I'm going to sort of fill in these lines. So, see, that one's going to come across here. All right, and along there, a little bit of a curve, see that one? And I'm just going to put a little line at each side there. And same on this one. Okay, now if you don't quite, you're not quite happy with your pencil lines, you can change them at this point. Just go over the bits that you want. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here and draw this line in. And then along this one, in there, and okay, don't worry if it's missing the pencil lines a little bit, as long as you see here we're going to go underneath those. There we are, and along there. And same here. Again, just sort of going underneath. And now we've got this little bit of a crisscross design. Okay, really happy with that. So just to make life a bit easier, I'm just gonna come on in and rub out those lines. Obviously just make sure that your pen's dry before you do that. There we go. All right, a little bit like DNA. All right, so on the top here, on this line, you've got a choice here. You could put any kind of shape. You could put a little heart shape on there, a little flower. I think what I'm going to do is just going to put a bubble on there. All right, and same on this one. And let's do that on all those little corners there. And then same here. Okay. You can, do large, small, that's fine. Okay, get rid of that little bit of pencil there. So I'm gonna put one in the middle here as well, but I want it to be sort of a different height. There we go. To the one that I've drawn there. So there's my bubble. And then one here. See, I'm going to change the sort of size a little bit. And then one here. I want them to sort of be different to each other. There we go. And then here I'm going to just add a couple down there. You see that first one is just a little bit bigger than that one. And then that one's just a little dot. And the same here. I must admit, I've been looking on Facebook at some of the tiles and actual pictures that you've been doing using the tile from Friday. I think they're fabulous. You're really doing a great job. And I noticed as well there was a lady that's done a cow using this. I think it was the owl stencils. I think that's really good as a card. It's amazing what you can do with them, isn't it? It's just having that little bit of a think around them, because there's so many shapes on them. But it's lovely to see. It really is, that you're all doing your own thing. There we are. It does, doesn't it, Bonnie? Yeah, it does look a bit DNA-like. Okay, still got a little bit of pencil there, look. So again, work in the middle. There we go. Then a little bobble on top, and then slightly sort of different there. Little bobbles on. And then again, we're getting smaller each time. Okay. This gives it a little bit of something different, doesn't it, there? It's changes the shape. You could have, we could fill it in and you could make it look like a ribbon. But it's nice sometimes to just do something a little bit different and have it open-ended like this. And then let's have another one. And again, there's little bobbles there. Okay, looks a bit different, doesn't it? All right then, so what's next? We've got a bit of space, so let's just move it out a little bit. So what can we do with this then? I'm going to just sort of bring out, I think, an extra one there. Let's see. And then let's do the same on this side. Just working from that point outwards. Little bobble on the top. And I'm going to do the same this side. And this side. Okay. And let's add another one here. Now, of course, you could do more of these until you run out of space. we've got other things to do on here today, so we're just going to add this one. I see here, I'm not going to do that because it's going to go over there and I don't want to, so I'm going to leave that as that. Alright, so let's pick a space. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to add in a little bit of a sort of a little oval shape. Okay, let's go a little bit larger now. And I'm going to just put some little bubbles all the way around that shape. Just no rush. They don't all have to be the same size. Just make sure that they touch if possible as you're going all the way around. Okay. And then from the middle here, I'm just going to create a little bit of a curve. And the other side, they don't have to match. They can be slightly different. Okay. So put a line down the middle. And then I'm just going to fill in that space with lines. You see, they're just sort of starting to curve and just sort of follow the shape of that outline there. Okay, let's do another. So I'm going to come out here this time. And there. And then along we go. And along. You see, again, I'm just sort of following the curves that have already been put there. And I see here, I'm just going to make that a little bit heavier there, so you can see the difference between the two. And let's put one here. And then back in. And again, just sort of fill in the space so we can get some sort of shape there. And again, just going to add a little bit of weight on there so we can tell that that's in front. Okay. And then let's put another one in here. There we go. See, I'm going to make that so it's going underneath. I don't want anything to sort of disappear along there. That's it's going to, because it's not really got a middle, I'm just going to fill it with lines as best I can there. And then again, let's just add a little bit of weight there. Okay. Let's put another one here. It's going to come outwards. Okay, same as before. You see, I can put one in the middle. I can sort of see that a bit better. Just join that. And then around we go. Just sort of fill in the space as best we can. Trying to work on giving us a similar sort of line shape. Okay, I might even put a little one in here, look. There we go. Just sort of underneath. And of course that one is going to be a little bit of a heavier line there. So let's just put one there. Now of course your flower, if you want to call it a flower, is going to be a little bit different depending on how wide or what kind of shape you've done them. Let's have a look at that. It varies, completely different, so don't try and think it's, I'll make it exactly the same as mine. Just sort of work along the similar principles that it's going to look a little similar. Okay, they've got a bit of a stem going in there, just to sort of join it in. Okay, so I'm going to bring another one of those in over here this time. And again, it starts with that oval shape. And then back in with those bubbles. Just working it round. And then again, I'm just going to turn it so I've got it facing me. So when I come in with that first sort of shape there. It's sort of directly see facing me. It's in line with my main body there. So I'm getting that line in the middle. And then again, you see, just fill in the gaps. And the same this way. And then let's have another one this side. Now if you want to come ahead and do all of the sort of petal shapes to start with, then by all means you can do that. And then put the lines in, just doing that a bit more. And I might have one there going in. But you don't have to if you want to do each one separately. See that? We're going to have to thicken that one up there. Alright. And into there. And again, just a little bit of weight there, because we know that one's going to go behind the other. And just work my way around. And another one. And again, just work your way around, fill in that shape. Again, that's going to have a bit more weight there. And again, put in the middle one in if you can. If it's quite small and you think, oh, like this one, a bit of weight there, then just add in some lines as you go. So, okay, where's this one? I kind of like to put a curve in for the stem. Again, you don't have to. You can leave it if you like. Keep it at that. I think what I am going to do is just going to put a couple of little lines on it, just so we know that it's part of that flower there. We can see where it's going. It would make a great fairy skirt. Yeah, it would. Okay, let's put another one in there. And so it just depends which side we're going to go. I think I'm going to go this side. Let's have one here. So again, just coming in with that little bubble, like an oval type of shape, and then round we go. I keep seeing that wolf look, he's looking at me. Oh, it's a she actually, she's looking at me. There we are, just following it round as before. And then along we go, same as before, look. Don't worry about what's been before, what's been drawn or which angle now. It's just all about filling in that shape. It's absolutely no rush. Please don't think you've got to keep up with me. I try and keep it within a certain time, so no more than an hour usually, and that means I've got to pick the pace up a bit now and again. Yeah, so I'm just sort of adding a bit of weight there, so you can see that's gone underneath. It's almost like I'm putting a little bit of shadow in, so I'm going to go to that one there. Just as we're going, it just keeps things neat and we can see where it's going behind. Okay, let's have another one. So now this one I'm not going to take in there. That was sort of my original shape, so I'm going to leave that outside. There we go. Again, a little bit of weight there. And then let's just balance it up on this side. Again, in the middle if you can first, and then follow it round. There we go. And then again, I'm just going to curve it and join it to that sort of DNA shape. There we go. So we've got a few there now. Let's have a look at that. All right. So, I know, Lynn, they're all a little bit different, aren't they? It's nice to sort of have that variation. But, okay, I'm going to sort of come in with something a little bit different now. It's something you've done before, but a little bit different. So let's have a look. I'm just going to bring one in, and it's going to bring a curved line and a curved line. Okay, and then let's put a little bubble on the end, and then of course we've got a little bit on the sides there just to fill in, and then I'm going to create a bit of a bubble on the top where it's sort of a little bit longer, maybe more oval, and then another oval. You see how they sort of go underneath each other? And then I'm just going to put a little bobble on the top and fill it. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A little bit of a tuft of hair on the top. Okay, let's do another. So I'm going to come round this time now, look, going underneath that one. Now of course yours, depending on where your flowers are, is going to be a little bit different. And you might decide that, you know, you want to do loads of these or a few of them. It all depends on how your image looks. So again, like keeping those ovals. So there I've got 3, and then a little tuft. You're not really going to see much there. It's going to go underneath that one. Oh, Julie, yes, we are going to put zingers in. Hang on a second now. Okay, let's... I'm going to put another one of those in, but I want to go a little bit further out. So let's just bring that further out. And again, round the top. Just going to fill in either side. Jackie, yeah, there you go, look, I'm using an O2, which is one of my regulars. I do like the O1s, I do use them a lot as well. If I ever put a kit together, I do tend to put 2s in. So, yeah. It's very rare that I draw with anything bigger, I must admit. Certainly when I'm using the black. Alright. Little tufts. Okay. So let's add a few of those in on this side. Where we're gonna get one in here. Like, I'm gonna put a little stemmed one there now. Same as before, a little oval. And then long, and there's that one on the top, and then little tufts coming out the top. Let's have one going up and out this way. Alright, same again, little bobble on the end. Fill the corners and create that little oval shape. 3 of those, bobble on the top and 3 tufts either side. Okay, so when we usually do zingers, we do them in here and we tend to keep them quite small. But on this occasion, I'm going to go a lot larger today. You see how immediately you can see you've got a larger bubble there. So we just need to take a little bit more care that we're going to follow those lines round. See how it's a little bit larger. Okay, again, come on in and add in our little loop. Now that usually again we would colour those, but I'm just going to put a little line in there. Alright, so let's have another one. Just going to bring it up and out here. Larger than normal bubble. And then just sort of take your time as we're going to work our way around. Just sort of letting it go its own way. We don't really know which way it's going. It depends on how the lines vary. And then in and back round. Okay. So I think we need one. Let's bring it up and out here. Okay, a bit larger than normal. And then work our way around. So they're becoming sort of centre stage now, aren't they? All part of the main image rather than it being something all on its own. Here we go. Okay, let's have a look at this. I think before we go any further with anything, I want to find the two corners that have probably got less in them. So looking at this one and this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start a border off, but then I'm going to put a little bobble on it, and then a couple of smaller ones. And then turning it round and along here. Oh, there we go. And again, another bobble, and then just a few more, getting smaller. So it's sort of suggesting that we've got a border today. We're not actually going to put a full border in there. There we go. Just sort of work it round. And same here. Alright, getting a bit smaller. There we go. So we've got a couple of little corners there. So just to sort of finish off the drawing, I'm just going to add a couple of those bubbles, you know, just in those little sort of gaps. See? I'm not going to go crazy with them today. We just want to sort of, you know, neaten those little corner bits and fill them with a few little bubbles. Okay, sort of same around there, not too many. And around this section there. And again, any gaps, just fill them with a bit of ink. There we go, just sort of gives it a little bit of a grounding there. Okay, so I'm just going to come in now with my regular pencil. And the first thing I'm going to do is going to come back into these shapes here. And I'm just going to add some pencil. I'm not going to be shy with it today. I'm going to press on a little bit. Of course, you know your tile and you know the material you're working on, so if you need to build it up in layers, by all means, it's going to go across there. Alright. Okay, so all the way along that one. And then see where this goes underneath here? I'm just going to add some there. Now you're going to choose a side here. I'm going to go with this one. And I'm just going to add some pencil all the way around that side. And I see here, let's just add in some there. And then these little shapes here, I'm just going to put a little bit either side. And then just sort of a little bit at the edge too. You see, just little bits. There we are, bit there. So flowers, just going to add a little bit of a smirk in there, and then pencil top and bottom. And again, you know, because it's quite dark, it's got a lot of ink in there, you need to press on just a little bit, and just to get those edges in there, you're going to get some definition. Now because we've already thickened up the lines that separate one to the other, we shouldn't need to worry too much about adding more shadow there. Just going to ignore that bubble there. There we are. Okay, just sort of working it round. There we go. And a bit there. Don't forget my little smirk on my flower. And a little bit there. Okay. See, it's all the way around the top, just sort of leaving a gap in the middle. And again, let's just put a little bit onto the stems too. Okay. So these little shapes here, I'm just going to put like a little line on each one. Same there, like a little line. Just on each side there. Doesn't matter which side. And then of course my zingers, because they're a bit bigger today, I can add some shadow one side. missed one there, look. And then let's have one down that side as well. Okay, so a bit of shadow going on there. So let's bring the tortillon in. Okay. Oh, I know, Rose, I do love the shading. It really helps, doesn't it? It really changes the piece. So I'm just working my way along now. I'm not pressing on sort of too hard. I'm just going to soften the edge of that pencil. And of course there's a sort of open end there, so I don't want to go too far. But I definitely want some sort of darkness on that side there. See, and leaving the rest without. Okay. So let's do same on this side. See, that's sort of going to be in shadow there anyway, so it's going to have a little bit more there. Alright. And along there. Same on this bit. Okay, and of course, this is sort of going to fade into nothing because it's an open shape, so I'm just going to let it fade off. Okay. These sections, I just want to sort of soften them off and leave a little bit of a gap in the middle if I can. You've got a bit of a light section there, but they're quite small. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
It's cup of tea time, everybody. All right, so let's have a look at these. Let's do the flowers first. We'll go in the same order. Alright, I'm just going to work my way along. You see, I'm not really touching this bottom edge here if I can help it. I'm just sort of softening the edge where the pencil stops and the paper starts. It just sort of like, oops, to give it that little bit of an edge there. And of course, a little bit of softening around there. Yeah, Lena, that's a good idea. You know, just build it up. It is a confidence thing. The beauty of it is, it's just pencil. So if you feel you need to, you can go back in and with a rubber and add a bit of highlight. It's a bit of practice and it comes. It's just, you know, let's do the steps. A little bit of confidence. Okay. And same on these ones. There we are, just sort of working my way around, same at the top here. Alright, and this one. Okay, and then of course we're just going to touch the edges of those, so I'm going to do that bit. Yeah, just sort of giving it a little bit of a shading there. See, just work it around just a little bit. The idea is that you don't want to fill the whole space with the graphite. So you want to leave some of it that's really pencil free if you can. I'm going to come on in. So I'm just going to add a little bit of pencil to those stems there. Just so it's in keeping with the rest of the piece. You can come back and you can add to it if you need to. So add the rubber and, you know, take some away. And I'm just going to sort of do a very, very short zigzag just to sort of soften that line a little bit. So I did do there. Look, I've not put my little line in there. And of course, just same with that one. See? All right. Okay, so let's just bring the white pencil in for a minute. See what we can do with that. I just want to add a few extra bits in. So in the centres here, I'm just going to go across it with that pencil. Now, even if you're using a white tile or a pale tile, still go ahead and do this because it's just going to give it that little bit of a highlight. So I'm just working around that corner there where I left it. You see the difference? It might not be massively noticeable, but it will be on your tile. You see, it just gives it that extra bit of shadow. And then again, just on the opposite side of those little shapes. And of course, opposite side of that little zinger there. Now you could come in and do this in a different colour if you want to. I have got some colours with me. I'm going to add a little bit in a minute, but I quite like using the white for the highlights. Okay, there we go. Oh, one there, I've done that one. Alright, so then I'm just going to bring a bit of it in, you know, in the centre of that bit there, just to sort of enhance that white highlight, just to gives it a little bit of a sparkle. There we are. And same on this one. Alright. Again, just sort of on the opposite sides to those. Okay, so that's, I'm just going to bring a little bit of coloured pencil in. I'm going to bring a little bit of purple in. These are the bronzier ones, not the ones in the trays, but the others. Let's go a bit bigger. These are sort of student sort of level, so nice contrast. They work pretty well. I'm just going to add a little bit of that purple over the top. Just in that, can you see how it's just giving it that little hint of colour? And sort of same at the bottom. And we don't really need to shade because we've already done that with the pencil and the tortillon. We're just sort of adding a hint of colour in there. Same sort of around the tops there. Now if you wanted to use just colour pencils or pastels, you can do that. You just don't need the pencil beforehand. It's sometimes if you're not quite sure of your shading, it's nice to have the tortillon do the work for you first, and then you come in and just add a little bit of colour in afterwards. Alright. Okay. And then a touch of orange. Just going to add a little bit to that centre there. Nothing much, just over the top of where I've already done the shadow. Just gives it that little hint of colour. And then I'm going to bring in a green. And just a little bit on those stems. And again, just sort of where the shadow hits. So it's not like I'm colouring in, I'm just sort of, I'll do a bit in there as well. So I'm just adding a little bit of hint there. Just on those. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so you see you've got a little bit of colour in there. It's not a crazy amount, we didn't want to put loads, but it's just nice to have that little touch in there. A little bit of green in those. Okay, and then just to sort of finish it off, I would say, I'm going to come back in with the purple and just add a touch on that sort of edge there. You see how it's sort of got a little bit darker? Just sort of ever so gently, just sort of bring a little bit in. I mean, you could also do this with your pencil again, go back in and darken it up. It's just nice to kind of add that little touch of colour just to bring it all together. And then I'm going to do the same just on the ends. There we are. Okay. Now you could come in and you could add a little bit onto this as well if you want to, but I think I'm going to sort of leave it there. I don't want to sort of overdo it with the colour and it suddenly take over. But I'm just going to come in with my white pen. Just because I want to just make sure that, you know, these are nice and clean here. And again, if you've sort of worked on a white tile, you know, you might not see this completely. I'm just going to add a little white dot, you know, on the bigger ones. Just add a little white dot. Just to sort of break it up a bit. just sort of cleaning them up in there. And then same on there, with just a little dot in those big ones there. Just don't forget that your gel pen takes a little bit longer to dry, so you don't want to be rubbing your hand over what you've just coloured. That's the ones there. Okay, just sort of see, it just takes that little bit of an edge off. Okay, so that's quite nice, isn't it? I mean, if you want to ink the background, you know, you could ink the background. I could still do that afterwards. It's not a problem to do. But it's quite nice and subtle, I think, today. Completely different to what we would usually do. But last thing to do with that, I think, a little signature. And I do have one that I've done before. It's on a coloured tile. Just bear with me a second. Here we go. And on this one, instead of using dots, you can see I've used little hearts. And still, you know, coming with the same things. I've added just a touch of orange and purple with this one as well. But you see where the highlight stands out. And because of the darker background. But, you know, you've got options there. You can see how you feel and what you want to do with it. So, yes, you've got lots of time to play with this one because, of course, our next tile is going to be Friday. So we're back to normal, really, Friday. So, yeah, that's our tile for today. And, yeah, just a quick one before we go is, yeah, this is board. So, you know, Wednesday stencils, you're going to be able to create this kind of thing. And this kind of thing. I just want to show you actually. I've got some samples here. Again, Leslie's done. All the rest have gone into creating crafts. So you can see there, look, it's slightly different animals because of course you always get a choice. And then I know I've done a dream catcher before. It was a little bit bigger, you know, for a larger piece. But this one, as you can see, will fit on a card. Look, she's used the koi paints there as well. They're beautiful. I am bringing regular kois as well this time. They're nice. And this one, absolutely love this one. There you go. So if you think, oh, I'd love to do a wolf, but I've never been able to, there he is. So yeah, we've actually doing something a little bit different this time. We've got 3 lots of stencils, so plenty to be going at with. Certainly with it being a pick of the day. So that's as much as I can show you. Oh, I will show you this actually. If you're into your stitching. There we go. Look. Look. So that's really, yeah, it's really pretty, isn't it? You can work on there. But until Wednesday, you can have a look at these. You've got this to do, so lots to be going on with. So that's our tile. So hopefully I've given you a quick sneak peek that you've seen what's going on. Of course, there are some new tiles as well. And it's not just the colours this time with the tiles. They are a different supplier. So I've found as a different, slightly sort of a texture that's between the super smooth and the cartridge. And I'm sure you'll be loving them as well. So yeah, we're all good to go, all ready. So okay, have a play with this one, see what you think. And yeah, if you're around on Wednesday, you know, it'd be nice of you to watch or send some pictures in. That would be lovely. And yeah, we'll get the tile swap done on Thursday, Friday this week, so it'll be with you soon. So have a wonderful week, everybody. And we're, oh, I know, Chris. And I will speak to you again on Friday. So take care till then and see you soon. Bye.